Good morning. Welcome. This is Leaning In with Ann. I am an author. I am a thinker. I am a mentor. And specifically, a mentor for LDS people who like to question, who like to wonder, who like to expand, and are willing to do that and stay grounded in the faith that they love so much. So that's who I am. I'm clearing out some old dead wood crap that has to do with money and the movement of money in my life and the abuse I experienced in my childhood and in adult life. Financial abuse, control, withholding, hostage, blaming, accusing. There's a lot of things that have to do with money. And today, I actually have an appointment set up to work on that very thing and release. So my intention is to be all in. I think God's intention is to help me with that because I've asked Him to help me remove kind of yucky things that I have about money. I want to go into that for just a second if I can. This idea of money. I didn't intend to do this. Ha! Look at that. I didn't intend. But it's coming through that I need to. I have had a misperception about money, about what it is, about how it flows, and about why it's on the earth. It's been villainized in my world in a lot of ways. One, if you're rich, then you can't be faithful kind of a thing, which is kind of silly. Because God's like super abundant. Everything He does is abundant. One seed can generate how many plants? You know, He's really, really abundant. So having it wrong for me to be abundant is kind of crazy. I figured out this love of money thing recently, and I've got to get rid of now the effects of all of this stuff. So I was sitting with God, talking to Him about money, not the please will you give me money. It was more of a tell me more kind of moment. Tell me about money. Because I think I've got a complete misperception about what it is, how it operates, why it's here. What is holy money, God? Like, why does it exist? Everything in this world exists because of you. What is that about? So my intention was to sort out this idea of money. And my intention was to go to the source. The source of all abundance is God. So I kind of grew up with the idea that those rich people, they don't love God because they love their money. I don't know that, but I got that kind of thing. So to have a lot of money was morally wrong, and I shouldn't want it. I should want God instead. But this is what I found out when I asked Him about money. I literally said, what is money here for? What is its persona? What does it do? So what was really interesting is it came through in my own mind. This is for my own understanding and learning. It might help you. Is to make money into a literal persona. So if I were to say, I'm sorry, money, I have to hate you because I need to love God, and if money was a real person, do you think money would be around me? Like, what about, okay, I know that you did all this stuff for me, and you worked really hard, and you showed up for me, and it's just never enough. You're never enough for me. Guys, that's like a narcissistic relationship with money, if money's a persona. So I went, okay, God, that's really interesting. And then I said, all right, here's my problem. There are two clubs that I see, and I don't want to be in either one of the clubs and how they operate with money. The one club is the lack club. That's the club that they don't have enough, they'll never have enough. If they have enough, it's morally wrong. I was in that club, right? That I'm not supposed to want to have more. all of those patterns and things, generational, really. My dad was taught that. There was a scarcity of money in my family. I've got family who literally drug everything they had across the United States as pioneers, and they didn't have anything. They had to, every ounce of food, every ounce of survival, every ounce of shelter, like they had to create. They had to do that. They were in lack, and they were creators. That's the other part I didn't ever get taught. Man, my ancestors made something out of themselves. They did not stay in the covered wagons. See, I kind of got this thought that they have to stay in the covered wagons because that's where they came from. Not true. So the lack club, everything that is lack is where I was at with money. And then I said, but I see this other club and I don't want to be a part of it. That is greed. That is using money in abusive ways, or using money for things that are literally immoral. I think of the drug trafficking, I think of the sex trafficking, and how much money is passed back and forth. Not that I would ever involve in that, but there's other corrupt things that money is and has been used for. Can you imagine if money were actually your persona? There's the, hey money, you're never enough. Can you imagine the, and I want you to go do this and destroy that human. And I want you to go do this because I want more of you. I'm going to own you. I'm going to make you be my slave. And I'm going to get more and more and more of you, and I'm going to make you do things you don't want to do. Such a weird concept for me when I grabbed this. And I said, okay. So I don't want to be in lack, and I don't want to be in that. God, what's the pure channel of money? Like, what's the real purpose, reason, energy that it exists? And the answer that I got back is just a thought in my head that came, that I started to chew up, and then I feel really good about it. That's how I know it's a thing from God. Is that money is just the vehicle that shows that he's here and is loving all over you. Because it's been villainized, there have been many times where God has tried to give me those resources, and I've gone, no, I'm not supposed to be rich. I'm not supposed to have money. I'm not supposed to even enjoy the money that I have. I'm just supposed to pay for the necessities and give it all away to somebody who has less than me. And then I'm strapped and I'm believing that I don't have enough again. And God's like, you know what? I want you to think of money as a persona whose only intention, ooh, love that word today, is to love on you. And when it's used in ways that are not loving, it weeps. But when it's in the hands of someone who's willing to let that love be magnified, it soars. And by the way, my lovely, money is here so that you can thrive in your purposes. And I went, oh my gosh. So my intention today is to listen to truth about money and uproot the perceptions I've had. Have you ever met someone who you've seen from a distance and people have told you all sorts of things about them and their life and their world? And then you have these private moments with that person and they're nothing like what you've been told. Have you ever had that experience? So I've actually been that experience. There were some lies that were told about me, perceptions that people had about who I was and how I operate and why I do things. And then I had one girl specifically had heard all sorts of things about me and was afraid to actually meet with me and talk with me. And this is oh gosh, how long ago is this? This is 9 years ago. About 9 years ago is when this happened. And we had the opportunity to meet and talk very cordially in a different way. And then I had this impression to say, hey, I know you've got family in the area. I know you don't live here. If you ever come into town and need a place to stay, I'd be more than happy to have you come. And she took me up on it. And we got to be very, very, very close friends. And then about 3 months in, she says, you know, you're not who I thought you were at all. Like, there's nothing about you that is what was told to me about you. And I take that into this idea of money. What if everything you know about money is not true? What if money just wants you to thrive? What if money loves to bless people? So my intention, we can go into that so much deeper another time because I really formulated some really cool ideas, and even a notebook where I write to money. She and I, it's a her. For me, she flows in and out, so she's a her. And so writing to her and talking with her in relationship, literally having a relationship with the energy of money is so powerful. And every time I decide that money's not my enemy and I'm not bad for wanting a good relationship with money and to quote unquote manage it, no, it's just say, hey money, how would you love to be used today? What would make you be magnified today in the best way? Sometimes she says, I just want to stay home. I don't want you to spend me. I don't want to go anywhere. I just want you to know that I'm here for you. And other times there's like this excitement. She's like, oh, go there, go there. If you spend me there, it's going to magnify you. I'm so excited. Or magnify somebody else. But I check in with money now. Hey, money, what would you love to do, to be, to have today? Like, what are we doing together as friends? That's my intention, is to get rid of the wounds from the lies that have been told to me about money. What lifts my soul and helps me be in a high vibration of love? Because what happens when I'm in a high vibration of love is that exudes out to people. I can say, hey, you're my favorite person today. When you are stressed and strapped and feeling like money never shows up for you, it doesn't like you as a friend, it's the jealousy, like it goes to everybody else and it doesn't even care about you. And should you even force it to buy yourself some flowers today? Like, is it going to get mad at you? Like, you shouldn't really do it. It's kind of sneaky to do it. None of that is money. None of that is money. You say, hey, money, these flowers feel really good to me today. Would you love to enhance my life with these flowers? And sometimes it's like, yes, let's get them. And what's interesting when I do this is that if it's not, I can hear something else that comes to my heart, and then the flowers don't matter. Like, I don't feel like I'm being rejected. I just go, oh yeah, maybe that'll be great. Isn't that interesting? A thought to say, hey money, what would you love to do to love on me today? And guess what? I am loving to my money. I want you to think about that for a minute. Not the love of money, but being loving to my money. So this one day I was writing a letter and saying, you know, what do you need from me today? You know, do you have any requests of me money that's going to help you? And the answer was, I need to be sent home to Father for a little bit because I can get a lot of energy there. And when I'm with him, I get to really bless lives that you can't touch at this point. And so I was wondering if you'd send me back. Guys, that's tithing. How cool is that? I had a situation where I didn't have enough money for a thing that I kept being pulled to that would literally enhance my ability to reach more people and teach connection and love and relationship. And I'm like, so I really want this, but I don't have enough of you and I don't know what to do. Like, is this something that you would love to do for me and invest in me? Like, is this something we need to do? And the answer was yes. And I'm like, oh, okay, but there's not enough of you. And it was kind of interesting. It says, the feeling that I got is the minute that you buy in to letting me love on you, I can expand. But you've got to use me in this way. And so I'm like, done. So it miraculously, it came. So here's another thing about money. I can invite money into my space. I can say, hey, money, would love for you to come and hang out with me because I just really want you. Come on, money. And then money comes into the bank. I'm like, oh, dang. It's not enough for this and this and this and this and that. So much not enoughness. And I realized, like, if somebody drove all the way across the country to come visit me, and then I said, oh, seriously? I mean, I know I invited you, but I am not ready for you. I don't want you here. You're going to have to go get a motel. You're not enough for me. How would you feel? And so instead I went, okay, I'm going to let you show up for me. And money came, it expanded, it brought me all the things I wanted. So this other day, I was sitting in the temple and praying and meditating. And I heard, hey, you need to get up, you need to get out of here, and you need to go up north. There's a barbecue you've been invited to, and you're going to go. And immediately I thought, I don't have enough gas money for that. And I went, no, hold on. God is the source. So I've just got to buy in. Okay, you want me to go up north? Yes. Right now? Yes. Go home, change your clothes, pack a few things. You're going to be gone a few days. I'm like, okay. I mean, I didn't know where I was going to stay. I didn't know anything. I walked out of the temple and I hear Venmo go, cha-ching. I went, what? And I open up my Venmo and I get this message from someone that says, hey, your scholarship to class for me last year, and it changed my life in such profound ways. I have got some money now and I just want to pay for that class. Like out of nowhere, money jumped into my pocket and showed up. It's not about doing something to manipulate an object. It's about relationship. You know what happened? Because there were other expenses that I had that I needed to take care of. But because of the instruction from God to go up north, when that money came in, I just sat there and got so excited and said, wow, thank you so much for showing up. Wow. Like, we're going to do a thing together, right? You're going to show me what we're going to do. And we're just going to play together. And you're going on a trip with me. And I was like, yeah. So I ended up, that was Saturday. I went to the barbecue. It was awesome. And then on Sunday, I woke up and the instruction was go to the Tabernacle Choir's performance of music and the spoken word this morning. And I went, I've never done that. I don't even know how to do that. He goes, do it now. So I look. I'm like, okay, I can do it. If I do it this time, I go to look in my suitcase and I didn't have a dress. And I went, oh, I don't have a dress. I can't even go to church. And Spirit was like, yeah, but if you show up at Temple Square without a dress, they're just going to think you're a non-member. They're not going to reject you. Go. Ready, go. So I did. Something very, very healing happened for me with a gentleman who was there. And like money was loving on me, trying to heal me. If I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have met this gentleman who healed some things in my past. It was kind of a crazy experience. And then after that, I went and it was beautiful, such a beautiful day. And I went and I sat down and I decided to write some things about my experience. I started to get hungry and it's Sunday and I'm like, I didn't plan for this. Like I didn't pack food. Okay. Well, money. Do we go and spend you today because I am out of food? What do I do? And I was like, don't worry about it. It's kind of the feeling. I'm like, okay, so I just kept writing. I was literally like money was right next to me in relationship. And it was about 5-10 minutes later, this woman comes up to me and she says, excuse me. And I said, yes. She goes, were you over at the choir's performance? I said, I was. She goes, yeah, I saw you there. I go, oh, cool. So you were there and you enjoyed it? She goes, yeah, we were going to bring some friends. Well, we brought some friends from North Carolina, but they had to leave too early. And I packed them lunch. Would you love some lunch? Why, yes, I would. I would love that. Thank you so much. So the money that woman was in relationship with had bought the food, and she was inspired to prepare it, and I was blessed by that money. Like, it was so crazy the whole weekend. Because I let money be in a relationship with me, I got to experience friendship with money. Like, it was so much fun, you guys. I would love to just kind of place that in you. What's your intention? Let's do it together, because I'm going to go and I'm going to work with somebody who's going to help me with some of the wounds of money. Like I said, and the misperceptions. So let's together, if you would love to, say, I would love to be in relationship with money. I would love to discover what money and who money is to me. I would love to discover money loving on me. And I would love to discover what it's like to be loving to my money. What I'm saying about me loving on my money, there's another kind of situation, and that is, I asked money in this little journal that I've got, you know, like I said, what can I do for you today, money? What can I do for you? And it was like one of the first times I'd had conversation with money, and the thought that came into my head was, I'm stretched too thin. I'm working too hard. I'm tired. And I kind of went, what does that even mean, that you're stretched too thin? Like, I don't understand. But I could feel the energy, like the feeling of just, you know, when there are so many demands placed on you, like you gotta go here and you gotta go here and you gotta here, and like nobody is aware that you exist. They just need things from you, and so you're running around doing things. And that's the feeling that I had. And I went, what is this about? And then I heard it. You have too many subscriptions. I'm out there and I'm working so hard, but you're not even noticing or even partaking of the things that you sent me out to do for you. And I went, oh my gosh. And money's like, I just want to come home. I just want to rest. I immediately went home. Immediately. And checked all of my subscriptions and went, nope, don't need that one. Don't need that one. That's not serving me anymore. I brought money home to hang out and eat cookies with me. Right? I just said, you know what? I have been working you too hard. I'm so sorry. I didn't even see that that was a thing that I was doing. Oh, goodness. Okay, come on. I brought it home. It's a really interesting thing to start having those conversations. Hey, money, I need to bless a bunch of people's lives. This is the way I want to do it. Is that something that is really supportive of me? Does that help my mission? And what do I need to do to help you magnify, to help you multiply? I would love inspiration. I trust that you're going to show up because you're my friend. And, you know, friends show up for each other. So I'm so excited to see how this is going to work out. And if it's not the thing that I'm supposed to do for the people, but there's something else, I will get inspiration. Now, I don't use money as my God. Kind of may sound like that, right? But I don't. I'm in relationship with money, and I do check in with God and say, hey, am I on the right path here? Like, is this what you would love for me to do? And I already kind of have a confirmation. So I do not make money my God in these conversations, in these relationships. But I have made money my enemy. No, I haven't. I haven't. People before me have told me that money is my enemy, and that having lots of money at my disposal will corrupt my soul, and that having lots of money will change me inherently, and that I will be prideful if I have a relationship with money. That is not true. There's intention. What is my intention with my money? To be in relationship and operate with it in a way that's really, really beneficial and useful. Sometimes there's more money. Sometimes she's out doing other things and I don't need her as much. And there's other times where she just floods me. And I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? We had this great big situation where I had quite a bit coming in. And I said, what are we going to do? And she says, you're going to pay your debts. I would love you to feel free And there are some things that are hanging out there that keep weighing you down. And I can feel it. I know that's why I've shown up in such a big way. So this one, and this one, and this one. I would love for you to just use me for your freedom. How cool is that, guys? So I did, and I didn't have the normal panic of, oh my gosh, but that means I'm not gonna have more money later. See, some of the abuse is I had my water and power shut off a lot when I was a young mom with 5 kids. So I would take my paycheck that I would get, my little meager dance paycheck, and I would hide some of it so that when the power or water got shut off, I could go run to the power company or the water company. I could get it turned back on. So I withhold money instead of just paying bills. Like I pay bills, but like even today, something that happens in me, this is what we're working on, is that when I go to pay a bill or payroll or anything, it's the only place in my world I have all this anxiety. Like what's going to happen if I give that money to that person? I'm not going to have enough, and I panic. I don't go into full-blown panic attacks. I just have this wrestle within myself. And I just don't want to wrestle anymore. I would love to use money to pay for the things that people have blessed my life with without any panic or trying to withhold. Like I want to get rid of that wound. I want money to feel safe with me, that I'm going to treat her right. And I want to be treated right and receive all of the good that money would love to bless me with. So, intention. Is your intention to just try to scrap by? Or could you change an intention today to say, I intend to discover what a friendship with money is. I have friends who, if I really need to, will drive across the country and be there to support me. I know that. I want to feel the same way about money. I don't use, abuse, sell, push away, say don't come near me, I don't like you. If I let you in my house, that means everybody's going to judge me as corrupt, so you can't come. I don't do that to my friends. And I don't want to do that to money. I would love money to just be my friend, and I want to feel comfortable with money. I want to spend it with integrity, and I want to have fun with it. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. Let money love on you and be loving to your money. So the declaration is, there's a couple. One, I am loving to my money, and I love to be loved by her. I am loving to my money, and I love to be loved on by her. Okay, there's one. I see money as my friend who believes in me and loves to support me. That's a good one, right? Or I am comfortable with money. I spend her with integrity and have fun with her. Change it. Make it be a persona. If this is something that felt really, really good to you and you would love somebody else to know, please share this. That is it. Have a great afternoon and a great weekend.